Hello, Apollo 11 Houston. We recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay.
Welcome to the Depths of Jigoku podcast. We talk about stuff, lots of stuff. It's just the boys today. What it do?
How's it going, man? How's your week been?
Normal shit. Trying not to fight off TSA.
You gotta explain that now.
Well,
Why are you trying to fight GSA?
I'm currently working on a project for the TSA, and it is a pain in the ass to work with them. They suck all around.
Well, at least they're consistent with their sucking.
That's legitimately how I get through the day.
But this is just them all the time, not just because they are being difficult.
Dude, getting your butthole checked is the least of my worries. Like, it's just the average TSA employee is the fucking worst.
I can agree with that one. They truly do make going through airports 10 times worse than they ever used to be. I still don't. I think the whole fucking taking your shoes off and belt off is stupid.
I don't think you got to take your shoes and belt off, at least not in Denver.
Well, that's good. It's hit or miss. I've been to airports that you still do, and I've been to airports that don't give a fuck, and there's just like, oh, you don't have to worry about taking your laptop out at all, which is so wonderful.
Yeah, it's just normal TSA shenanigans. Although I did find that on GovPlanet you could purchase boxes of pocket knives the TSA have confiscated.
I bet they're cheap as shit.
It's like $20 for 45 pocket knives.
I'd drop $20 for that.
Right?
At that point, you just don't care if you didn't break. Use them they are now your mold.
I was thinking you'd get them and then you immediately like start flipping them on eBay because they're not cheap pocket knives. They're usually like crickets and shit like that.
I mean, you're not wrong. Good little hustle going on right there.
Yeah, maybe I'll get around to doing it one day. All right, let's hop into it. Let's start the day off with Florida man. Florida man leaves hockey game, fights alligator, goes back to hockey game, not wearing shoes.
Okay, I watched. So I watched the snippet of the news article about it because they had him on the news out there. Apparently, he did have shoes. He just had flip flops on, like a normal Florida man would. So he had to kick them off.
I mean, that's fair. You don't want to be at a disadvantage when wrestling an alligator with your bare hands.
This is fair. I mean, granted, it was only an 8-foot alligator, but that's still an 8-foot of pure death machine.
I just want to point out the weird thing about this story isn't Florida man fighting alligator. It's Florida man leaves hockey game and then returns to hockey game.
Yeah, he was apparently there with his family, and he just like got an emergency call, went, jumped on this thing's back, wrestled it, taped its mouth shut, and just carried it off like a big fucking beefsteak.
I mean, I'm about it.
Just went back to watching hockey with a bunch of men who are currently less manly than he is.
He definitely wins the top of the man card for the day.
Do you think he goes back to the hockey game and just looks down on the players and is like, fucking peasants?
No, because he probably can't ice skate. Like, fighting in skates is hard.
That's fair.
But yeah.
I mean, ice skating seems to be hard for people down here. Anytime I try to take some people ice skating, they're like, nah, fam. It's not how it's going to work.
Well, yeah.
You gotta culture yourselves, guys.
Everyone thinks it's the same thing as rollerblading until they realize that ice is harder than concrete.
And a lot of you just slip, and then you're wet, and now you're wet and cold. So if you don't learn to get a little bit of speed going, you're just going to stay wet and cold the whole time.
Very true, very true. I am not fucking feeling it these last couple days, man. I don't know what's going on. Something's going around, I think.
Me neither. It was, about a week ago. I was sick for like 4 freaking days.
Dude,
and it was miserable. Thankfully I didn't have to work, or I only worked like a morning shift, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I felt like absolute garbage. I didn't want to do shit. I slept all fucking day.
Yeah, I feel that.
Did nothing but drink tea for like 4 days straight.
Dude, tea's such a lifesaver.
I went through most of my tea stock. I gotta get more.
We have one weird guy that I work with that always has like a fucking literal crate of green tea in his desk. So all day today, I was like, "Give me some green tea."
The man's a lifesaver, and he knows it.
Yeah, well, he's a cubicle dweller. Doesn't leave very often, so it's one of those ones
Uh,
with one of the electric water kettles at his desk.
I love my electric water kettle. You don't talk shit about those things.
I love mine too, but we have an industrial fucking coffee maker. Dude needs to chill the fuck out.
Antisocial behavior at its finest, right there. I don't even want to go to the fucking coffee machine because that is the social part.
Dude, we don't even have like full cubicles. We have those little half height cubicles so everyone can still see each other. Like your computer screen sticks above the cubicle. So it's one of those like he could try to be antisocial, but he's surrounded by other cubicle dwellers that are constantly talking to him. And, a majority of his job is to call people and discuss things with them.
Yeah, but from working in technically an office job, it is far different to talk to people on the phone than it is to try to talk to people in person. Especially if somebody is already an antisocial person.
That's fair. I do probably think that job is centered around antisocial people.
It's not this. It's not the same kind of peopling. You ain't got to deal with people's ticks and shit like on the phone. You got to deal with that shit in person because you
Fair.
see it, you feel it, you hear it.
Hero of the day, is his name in it? Mike Dragich? Bro, this guy sounds like a UFC fighter.
They're dubbing him the blue collar brawler.
Shout out to Mike Dragich, if I'm not fucking your name up.
Apparently, he's a veteran. He has like a nonprofit for PTSD people suffering from PTSD, trying to get him out in nature and shit. Actually, a pretty dope guy.
Fair enough, fair enough. What was that Bud Light commercial where it's like, shout out to this person?
Oh, the real man of genius.
Yes, I'm going to declare him the real man of genius this week.
I'll give you that one. And going back, those were, in my opinion, the best Bud Light commercials and Budweiser commercials. The real men of genius.
You're not wrong. Man, I
'Cause
miss...
they're always so ridiculous.
Yeah, I miss good commercials. Like, now that we're in a world of streaming and, like, 10-second ads that are trying to get your attention before you click, skip ad, which, shout out to Airheads. Have you seen an Airheads ad?
Never.
So if you watch enough YouTube like I do, you'll every once in a while get an Airheads ad, and it usually starts off as like a horror movie or something along those lines, and it'll be like fucking non-copyright infringed Jason standing over some girl that I can almost guarantee was topless at some point earlier in the movie, getting ready to kill her, and then she's like, I think we're in an Airheads commercial. Should we skip? And then that's the earliest you could skip. But if you watch them, it's like them dancing and going to the bar together and chilling. It's fucking genius. But yeah,
It's actually pretty hilarious.
yeah, I miss good commercials. Like, in this modern day of streaming and skipping shit, what happened to all the good, like, catch my attention, dude?
I mean, I'm with you on that one. But at this point, the only commercials people even fucking care about is for the Super Bowl.
I still haven't seen this year's Super Bowl commercials. I could give a fuck less about the Super Bowl.
I stopped paying attention a couple years ago too. But that's where people are putting all their money. If they can get one, they put all their money into that one commercial and hope it catches.
That's fair.
That's where it's at nowadays.
Yeah. I still think probably for average television, the Super Bowl is most likely the most watched thing. I can look this up.
More than likely. I mean, it is watched all over the planet, especially now that the NFL is pushing teams to go play in Europe and England and I think one or two other countries over there
Well, that's
to
because
try to get more viewership and more money.
no, it's not that, man. 115.1 million people watched the Super Bowl this year in just America.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, live. Now, back to your conspiracy theory. I think it's because the NFL supports Super Earth. They know that eventually America is going to take over everything. I mean, we're borderlining World War III right now.
Fair enough. I see. I thought you were going to go into my the NFL's rigged conspiracy theory because I got all on that one for a while too.
I mean, it would surprise me if it wasn't.
So essentially, like the new age WWE type, where everything's scripted out ahead of time. Because there are things that have happened over the past few years, and just there's too many coincidences for my taste. And like shit, I could look at like a week ahead of time, and be like, this is gonna happen, and it's exactly how it happens.
Yeah, I support that. I mean, we're at that point where, like, your average professional sports have to be rigged in some kind of way.
I can agree with that one. Try to keep the value and the entertainment of it up.
And after a quick Google search, the only interesting new conspiracy theory is we're all living under gravity's rainbow, which tracks.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that one to me?
Oh, I guess I'll click on it. I literally just Googled new conspiracy theories.
Oh
Went
no,
from
are we
there.
about to do episode 7, Conspiracy Theory 2.0?
The gang gets
What?
conspiracied.
Again?
What's Gravity Rainbow?
Okay.
Is it like the ice wall?
Well, before I read, what do you think the gravity rainbow is?
Is it like
Gravity Rainbow?
Yes, we're all living under gravity's rainbow. That's the title of the conspiracy theory.
it's like the Rainbow Bridge from Thor?
If that's your guess,
My guess?
yes.
They're going to do something. It doesn't have to do anything with colors. It's going to be some weird thing that evolves down into hollow Earth. And it's like light emitted particles is what's causing our gravity. Something like that.
I'm going to read the first 3 sentences. Black curtains hang in the windows of a dinky suburban LA apartment, 2 blocks from the Pacific, blotting out the light. Inside, Thomas Pynchon's early 30s, awkward with a Zappa stash. I don't understand how that's awkward. Scribbles on reams of graph paper. The scene is Spartan. A cot, some books, a messy pile of correspondence, a collection of chintzy piggy banks. This is a run-on sentence. On his desk sits an ad hoc model rocket jerry-rigged together from a paper clip and an old pencil eraser. I still don't know what this is about.
It sounds like the beginning to a short story.
Oh, here you go. This is a sentence in here. Salvation Army, outside the world rages on. The Watts riots, LSD, space race, Watergate, the bomb. So apparently, what I'm gathering from my brief introduction to this new conspiracy theory that I'm totally going to break out at a burn or a festival and fuck with hippies with is that, like Ulysses and Infinite Jest, Gravity's Rainbow is a book that gets you to think. There's a lot of run-on sent. This is a poorly written article. I think AI could have done better. It just, you know what? I'm going to have to dig in more. This article is really badly written.
Is it the badly written part that makes you want to dig in more? Or is it this sounds like,
No,
we didn't start the fire kind of intro?
It's sentences like, in a way, our own age's greasy stew of absurdity and apocalypticism, creeping death tinged with clown-shoot idiocracy, suggests a world that is finally, fatefully, caught up with Pynchon. We are still living under gravity's rainbow. I want to know now. There's like a blurb about V2 rockets.
I just don't know what he means. Is it just like...
There's a blurb.
Where's this all going?
Right? There's a blurb about Mania. I might have to buy this book. Fuck, I have like 5 books I need to read right now. Also, so you'll appreciate this, Cuban, or whatever. I'll fix it in editing.
So many of them is fine.
Dude, it took me like 3 days to edit the last one. Where was I going? Oh yeah, so you remember the Winds L5R books, Legend of the Five Rings, for you savages out there?
Yes.
I found the prequel that's all about Tottori. I am 3 chapters in, maybe 4, and it is a fever dream. So the setting starts with like Tottori's wife chilling, watching people in the Imperial City, and then she goes in and Tottori's sweating with his sword in front of him, holding it outstretched, hands bleeding because he's holding the blade. And he just, black eyes, just starts babbling. She says something. His black eyes go away. He decides he needs to commit seppuku. Commits seppuku. There's an undead dude in English knight armor. That is his second. Then goes to the underworld, decides to hold a rebellion, gets to the gate, the gates of Jigoku for everyone that doesn't know. Gets to the gate, bashes his way through it to reopen the gate to the world of the undead, comes back and has 4 kids. That is the first 4 chapters of the book.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it is. It's like 25 pages in. I read it on lunch today. It is a fever dream.
Where'd you find it?
We went used book shopping over the weekend because I'm
nice.
old now and I find that fun for some reason.
So I did more research as you were describing the past of that guy. For some reason, Totori's past.
Yeah.
Rainbow gravity, or gravity's rainbow, is a theory that different wavelengths of light experience different gravity levels and are separated in the same way prism splits white light into rainbow.
That's not a theory. I mean, it's a theory in the scientific definition.
Yeah, and that's what this whole, that's what you're talking about, the world living under gravity's rainbow, is literally just based on that, which that book is like that. And they're like, oh yeah, but in the book they say V2 rockets disprove that. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still going to read the book, though. Seems
I'm interested
like
in
a
reading
trip.
the book, but this Wired article doesn't say anything like that.
No, I just did a research outside of Wired, because we all know Wired is totally the most, like, vetted source.
Apparently, there's a guy in this book named Mike Rooney who fornicates prolifically, gets in a high-altitude cream pie fight, and narrowly avoids castration. I'm buying this book. It's going on my Amazon list right now.
Oh, it's just, you know what's really bad is I need to read Infinite Jest, or I want to read it, so I have to read Infinite Jest, and then this book, and then so many others. Infinite Stars. Yeah.
Dude, like I said, I got like 5 books to read. 5 books and like 20 comics that I bought over the weekend that I need to read. I bought
The Gang Gets Literate is the title.
Yeah, I bought I watched like 5 minutes of a 2-hour YouTube video about this horror manga and was like, I'm done watching this, need to buy it. All about swirls.
Oh, is it? Oh, why can't I remember? Ito?
Yeah, I think it's Ito. Apparently he has a bunch of them, but I'm interested in this one.
He's an amazing horror novelist, manga artist, however you'd like to say, graphic novelist. I don't know what we would like to call him.
Whatever.
I got my brother hooked on him, and it's amazing.
In this world of infinite genders, we can call him whatever we want.
But no, I'm someone that absolutely doesn't like horror because I'm more of like a suspense thriller, like Hitchcock kind of guy. And Ito is like the one person I'll like read, and if he ever makes something, which he and I forgot one of a great animator are supposed to be like collabing to make one of his books real, like in animated. So I'll be watching that.
That's why I wanted to get it. Is I'm a sucker for comparing a good book to a shitty movie.
There.
Hello?
Hello.
I think we lost Dread Pirate.
Did
I'm
we
here.
lose Dread?
Oh, you are here. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Did he get lost? He got lost in the infinite void of the different conspiracy theories.
Yeah, right. The other book I got is The Last Ronin Lost Years in hardback.
Ooh.
So I'm excited to read that one. That's probably going to be this weekend.
Is that the new Ninja Turtles one, or is this also just named The Last Ronin?
No, this is the new Ninja Turtles book. New Ninja Turtles comic. But I didn't realize they kept making them after The Last Ronin finished.
You hear they're making a rated R movie, right?
Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
I can't wait.
I haven't cried, like, legitimately teared up from a book or a comic in a decade, and still that one made me tear up multiple times. If you
Flash
have,
Ronin comic book series is so good.
yeah, if you haven't read The Last Ronin, viewers, listeners, whatever you are, check it out. Definitely worth it, even if you're not into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or comics at all.
Wonderful, wonderful storytelling and artist work.
But so to continue on, I got all the Dune books. Not for any other reason than I was like, ooh, the Dune books, 80% off.
So they take up a full shelf on your bookshelf, right? Just those.
Yeah, well, they're paperback, so they're not super big.
Okay.
And then I picked up a bunch of other random comics that I want to get into. I think I'm gonna get back into the Constantine stuff because
Okay.
they're making a second Constantine movie,
I
and
can't wait for that.
it's gonna be so bad.
I don't care.
Constantine was outside of Batman. Don't hate on me, Batman lovers. Outside
You're
of
gonna get hate
Batman,
on.
Wonder Woman and Constantine were the only two good DC movies that have come out in probably my lifetime. Like, Justice League was a shit show, although I haven't seen the 9-hour version.
It's still a shit show. Don't waste 9 hours of your life.
The Flash is hot garbage. Cyborg got racist.
Are you talking about Flash the movie or Flash the TV show?
The
movie.
movie. I heard
Okay.
show was
Okay.
super
The
good.
TV show is great. So I was gonna say, hold up, we gotta now specify. Flash movie with is yeah.
I enjoyed Aquaman.
I enjoyed
I haven't seen the
Aquaman.
I haven't seen the second one, but I enjoyed the first one.
I enjoyed the first one because Jason Momoa is a good actor. That was the only
Yeah.
good thing about that movie. What, just 100%. Like, everyone else's acting in that movie was garbage. But yeah.
And shit, you had Johnny Depp sex in there.
Wait, what? Johnny Depp fucked an Aquaman?
No, Johnny Depp,
Johnny
Amber
Depp,
Heard.
Amber Heard.
Oh, yeah. Dude, she looked rough at the trial.
Yeah.
She
I
looked
think
like...
I watched any of the trial.
I watched a Netflix documentary after legally consuming things.
Very much, yes.
And
100%.
my best guess is looking at old pictures of her and her trial picture is she's got a thyroid issue. Like, her neck looks like either she's been just doing nothing but shoulder shrugs or she's having some hormonal problems. And not in the, like, bitchy estrogeny way. Like, her thyroid's fucked because her neck grew 3 sizes larger than it should be.
Just
damn.
like the Grinch's part, sorry.
That's what I was going for.
I'm very much a big Johnny Depp fan, so I'm very biased when it comes to anything like that.
I am too.
Wait a fuck. Hold on. Amber
They're trying to
Heard?
they're trying to make a new Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp. I don't think it's gonna work.
I thought that was a rumor, because there was rumored he was going to be in the new one, and then that was a rumor, and then they rumored an all-female cast, which then got kind of shot down.
I
So-
don't know, man. I just
And now
hope
it's
they
a
don't.
new rumor
I just
that
hope
they're
they don't.
restarting.
He fucking makes those movies.
This
Everybody
is-
else are good supporting characters, but he makes those movies.
This is the story on the interwebs, or at least Reddit. Johnny Depp was gonna help them reboot Pirates of the Caribbean by playing not Jack Sparrow, but being in it as well. Then the Amber Heard thing happened, and they fired him. Then he won his case. They offered him an absorbent amount of money to come back. He told them to kick rocks, and now they're rebooting it, where there's a woman named Jack.
So, most of that is true, except it wasn't that he was helping make a reboot. They were actually making the final movie. So, like, the final one that came out. that's when all that happened. Like, that's kind of when all that went down, and then they kicked him off after the movie would finish production.
Yeah, I
And
thought they
then
were going to
everything.
use them to do the reboot. Like,
They were gonna make another one, well, because, I don't know, have all of us seen the last one? Because if so, great. If not, spoilers, put up a warning. If you haven't seen it, it's been too long, sucks to suck.
I can't remember if I have.
neither can I.
So, the end credit scene is a continuation. Like, Jack is again alive, and Davy Jones comes back because William Turner leaves the Dutchman, and someone always has to captain the Dutchman, and now that was like going to be the new story, because the Davy Jones came back as a human, funny enough, kind of in like that end credit scene shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to just continue, and the next one was going to be the last one, apparently. But I think not the Sun Sentinel, but the Sun, whatever British thing was, did the, posted the whole thing with Johnny Depp. He lost the defamation case in Britain, and then he sued in America, and then won in America, told Disney to kick rocks, so on and so forth.
Well, to be fair, getting sued for slander or libel in England is the easiest fucking thing on the planet.
Yeah,
They don't
then he
have
lost.
rules there. They still follow a king. And you need
Yeah,
a
and then-
fucking license to own a TV.
You need to be put on a list to own a TV. Yeah.
Yeah. How much
Or
bullshit
anything
is that?
but kitchen knives, I think. It's like, besides kitchen knives, you can't really own anything.
I think you're talking
watched
about
the-
the zombie knife thing.
Maybe,
What?
sure. I watched a YouTuber who he bought the not a flamethrower, and someone ratted on him, and the police literally came and took his not a flamethrower, even though he already like disabled it. It was like nothing.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, and they were supposed to give it back to him after they disabled it, so it couldn't shoot fire. And it's been like 5 years, and they finally said, "Oh, we lost it. We're gonna send you a check." So, yeah, Britain's really weird. They took over the entire world for spices, and then decided to not use any of them in their food. So,
It's true.
so for
So,
that
That's the
country.
weirdest true thing that you can ever think of, but it is.
so the zombie knife thing. And
Didn't
this will
think to
lead...
put all that expensive shit. I was like, what if this makes our food taste good?
Now let's sell it for money.
They created sugar. We can't complain about that.
They also taxed it, so we can't complain about it.
Well, we fought a whole war over them taxing shit.
Yeah, so that's just
So,
Harbor into a whole giant teapot.
yeah. Yes, we did. So, back to the Amber Heard thing. Going through her IMDb. You know this bitch was in Zombieland?
What?
Really?
She
Which
plays
one?
the first one. She plays the very first zombie. They didn't even give her a name. It's just 406.
She was actually on Zombieland.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so the zombie knives thing, Dread Pirate, since you're not aware, England and I think Australia banned like average knives. And then people started complaining that an average knife ban doesn't let them have stuff like kitchen knives. So they banned what's called zombie knives. So basically, you know, like when you were a teenager and you'd go to buy a knife in a shady dirt mall shop, you were always drawn to like the ones with the neon green splats on them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is what they banned. So if you have a proper pocket knife now, you know, one good for stabbing people, you can carry it around. But if you have like a shitty $20 pocket knife that says zombie across the side or whatever stupid thing across your pocket knife you want to said, now that's illegal. So something that'll probably break upon stabbing someone is illegal.
I thought you were gonna.
Okay, then.
I thought you were gonna talk about something that's like an out the front knife, So like, because that was originally banned in Florida, and now it's not. It's only banned in Orlando or something. That's what I thought you were gonna say. I'm like, that's a real weird way of saying like a switchblade or an OTF knife. But you meant just like a shitty like karambit you buy for $10. Okay.
Yeah. No, it'd make more sense if they banned switchblades.
Yeah, what's the worst that happens?
I mean, it's England, so they're already pretty much the bottom of the barrel at this point.
They banned good
I
tasting
think they
foods.
realized banning switchblades in Florida is kind of fucking pointless because most people have guns.
I worked in a shop where back when it was still banned, and we still sold them. It just never got enforced. I won't say where I worked, but I definitely worked at a place where we sold just a bunch of like illegal knives, and we're like, "Nah, here you go, have fun."
Ain't nobody just gonna walk up and show a cop one of those.
No.
And
But we did get a cease and desist from DC. We had I think it was like a Batman, either like tote bag or mask or something. And I guess someone like DC will hire like random people to go out and find copyright infringement. And we got caught, and we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then
so you
we
couldn't
just
have
threw it
a
in.
you couldn't have a Batman thing there.
No, we couldn't have anything DC related. So we just threw it in all of our grab bags. So if you were one lucky person that spent like $5 to $25 on one of our random grab bags, congrats, you got merch that we couldn't sell anymore.
It's one way to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just throw it out or burn it.
Okay. I gotta get off the conspiracy theory thing. Apparently Prince Charles is a vampire. Like, I'm going down a weird rabbit hole here.
Right.
So let's go ahead and do our weekly Helldivers 2 update. First off, PlayStation in talks with Microsoft about Helldivers 2 being on Xbox. That's fucking sick. One, we could use the new recruits.
Yeah. Early talks. It says that there's nothing confirmed or anything like that quite yet. But it's PlayStation has a new interim CEO who is apparently more into the trying it out.
I think it's probably got a lot to do with the Monopoly case that Microsoft just went through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's conspiracy theory number 5. If you notice, after Microsoft got to buy Activision Blizzard, all of a sudden a bunch of only Xbox or Microsoft exclusive games ended up on PlayStation, and you're starting to see a bunch of Sony games that are PlayStation only just coming out on PC randomly. So I'm thinking something with that case probably is forcing their hand. I think Sony shot themselves in the foot.
I mean, that's a good possibility. I'm just happy it might be happening. I think it's a good play for everybody involved. It's gonna make Sony a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah, it's not like they're making money off the console itself. They're selling them things at way undercut of a price.
Mm-hmm. People aren't. People don't want to switch over to different systems anymore because they're all damn near the same fucking thing at this point.
Yeah,
Just which brand do you like better?
It's really if you're into multiplayer games versus RPGs. That should limit what you purchase. Or you can be a smart consumer and learn something at the same time. Build your own fucking computer. We get everything. It might take a couple extra months, but we get everything.
I think that's something I'm going to try to do maybe sometime next year, is get into putting my own computer together.
It's not as hard as it used to be by any stretch of the imagination. At this point, just about every kind of connection is standardized. Like, if you got a decent build list, physically building it is super easy. There's very little things you can fuck up if you're competent using a screwdriver. If you're not competent using a screwdriver, please stay away from my motherboard.
That's fair.
And then Helldivers 2 is apparently adding squads bigger than 4, which goes back to my original theory of maybe we're going to get a mass combat thing.
I want mass combat. They're gonna have to bump up their server by a lot to do it, but I would love to see mass combat. I think that'd be fun. It'd be a whole new aspect to the game. But like moving it up to maybe 6 for now, I think is a good move. I think a 6-person squad would be dope.
Yeah, they'd have to tweak the difficulties a little bit. Like if you're dropping
Yeah,
it
they-
with a 6-person squad instead of a 4-person squad, that's a big shift in your favor.
Right. So I think they're gonna have to make everything more difficult.
I agree.
More heavies, more flying things, more of the AT-AT walkers,
100%.
which I haven't even run into yet because I haven't played on that difficulty yet.
I only have, I think I saw 2 on one map,
Jesus.
but I was playing with like some level 70s, so they just almost immediately took them out.
Well, that's good. I don't even know how to take them out.
A couple of the stratagems, like very specific stratagems, will one-shot kill them. It's the same thing as the
Okay.
Bile Titan. Like essentially the
Gotcha.
same thing. You could there's apparently a panel you can shoot if you have medium penetrating armor right between the legs that'll pop off, and then you shoot that and it goes down. There's a couple different ways to take them out.
Okay, that's dope. I'm gonna have to whenever I get to them.
And then continuing on with the video game talk, did you guys hear about Fallout London?
No.
So apparently, Bethesda's been working on another Fallout game, and it was supposed to come out in the next few months. It was going to be a big surprise thing. They were just going to market it for like the last 2 weeks before it came out, and they were trying to ride the coattails of the show. Well, the show did so good, and there's a huge uptick in players for Fallout 4 because it takes place in the same region, that they decided they're going to remaster Fallout 4 and push this nearly completed game. And I'll caveat onto that shortly. Push this off by close to a year. I don't know about you. Fallout 76 was a shit show, so I was excited for another single player Fallout. But also, we can count our blessings because now they got another year to work on something they thought was done. And we all know Bethesda does not release completed games.
This is true. I think having the extra year for any new Fallout game would be good for them. Especially in London. That's gonna be a great setting for Fallout.
Maybe I don't know. So like most of the Fallout games I've played 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and most of 4. I think I got bored around the 70 or 80 hour mark.
Okay.
Won't touch 76 with a fucking 5-foot pole. But in all the Fallout games, you're nuclear wasteland adjacent, right?
Right. So there's the big open areas and all that stuff, and you can see a lot of things.
Yeah. Why wouldn't London just get fucking leveled? Know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like London would be, because it's such a giant city, it would get leveled, it would still be a big city, just a leveled big city. So you'd still have a lot of the buildings from the outlying, like that didn't get immediately destroyed by the blast. And it would still make for a big area.
Yeah.
And then outside of London, you still have a lot of like open land being in England.
Well, yeah, you have the rest of the United Kingdom.
Right. So I think it would be a really good setting for it. And it kind of be like the a main point where people congregate and try to survive, like it is in New Vegas.
Well, New Vegas was cool because nobody nuked Vegas. Like, and that makes sense because it's not a tactical target. Barring, like, Nellis Air Force Base, it's not a tactical target. Nellis is far enough away where Vegas wouldn't have to worry about that. But, like, there's nothing military-wise about Vegas. Or capital-wise, or it's kind of like where all of our vices go to die. So it would
Right.
make sense that
Okay.
you wouldn't target that. Versus Linden, you're going to like pop out and it's going to be just fucking glassy wasteland. And the average nuke in Fallout is large enough. Like Linden's not that big of a town. Comparatively. You're talking it's a nuclear bomb hitting Linden would take out Linden and all the outlying areas. So you're going to like pop up in Wales and hobbit your way up there? What? Because we're talking a country that you could drive across in 4.5 hours. So, not a big place.
I forget they're small, so they're so much smaller.
Yeah, it's the American citizen syndrome where most Americans don't realize that the average state is larger than most European countries.
This is true.
So, continue with video games.
I actually just started playing Fallout 4 for the first time, so I'm
It's,
excited to get through that one.
it's not as good as New Vegas or 3. Like, you can see, so if you play 3, 3 was a big jump from 2.
I played all the way through 3.
And then New Vegas was basically just a expansion. It was a whole new storyline, but it was just Fallout 3 game engine, and they redid a new storyline thing. So New Vegas was cool. 4 was like, I don't know, it didn't have the subtle lovability as 3 or Vegas did.
Okay.
Like, if you've played through Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, you're gonna, at least I had a rougher time getting through 4. It was still super fun, but like I had no drive to finish the story like I did the other 2.
Okay. I see where you're coming from on that one. I still gotta play New Vegas too.
New Vegas is probably the best one they've ever made.
You know what? I'm going to download it right now.
But yeah, so new Konami code. Did you guys hear about this?
What do you mean a new Konami code? How do you just make a new Konami code?
Somebody discovered that in a N64 Fallout, or not Fallout, Castlevania game, that if you put in the Konami code twice, it unlocks all the characters, all the skins. You also have to beat the game on hard twice, but it unlocks everything. So I'm excited. I'm thinking about breaking out the old N64 and trying to find Castlevania.
Nope. Bro, you see how expensive N64 games are getting these days?
Luckily, I live in a place where there's like, I can't throw a rock without hitting a retro gaming store.
For real?
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, I always like going into them, but every time I'm in there, I'm like, all of this is garbage. This is a store full of e-waste.
You're not wrong on that one, though. We only have the one, and that's why they charge so much.
Yeah, man, out here, it's just, it seems like every video game or comic shop has a large retro section, and it's just shelves upon shelves upon shelves upon aisles of games no one cares about. Like, it's not like they have a large supply of Ocarina of Time laying around. It's just like Madden 2003. You're like, oh, fun. I don't want to play this at all.
That's why they're still on the shelves, man.
Good thing is you can get good hardware from these because they usually warranty the hardware. But then you got to go about, like, I've went down a weird rabbit hole of modifying old consoles so that they can be played on big screen TVs nowadays. Basically just adding HDMI ports or adding like extra RAM so it could run 4K and stuff like that. And that seemed pretty cool. Thinking about getting into that and modding my N64 to see if I can. But I also don't want to have to go buy another N64.
It'd be a cool project, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I could just put the game on my fucking RetroPie and call it a day. Now that I think about it.
This is true.
Um, let's go to what we were talking about before the show, screens in cars. Why it grinds my gears. So, little backstory. Before the show we were discussing big like touch screens in cars and decided to hold off for the show. My issue with it is most manufacturers don't do it right. And by do it right, I mean like I don't want my dashboard to look like you fucking super glued a TV to it. It's not appealing to me. Build it into the fucking dash. Give it a little shape behind it. Not just like this was a forethought. It's 2024, god damn it.
Yeah, you have to pay extra for that nowadays.
Dude,
I mean, they do, but they're in the fancier cars, and I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I completely agree with you. It is kind of a little bit of an eyesore in the middle of the dash of newer cars to have that big screen there, and it's for older cars. That's bright as fuck. I am just happy I can put mine in dark mode.
dude, I drive a Subaru. It's not an expensive car, and they just put it where the stereo used to be. Why can't everyone fucking do that? Like, I'm not asking for Audi level of work here. And by the way, Audi still has them sticking out the dash like a big fuck you to everybody that drives their cars. But, like, come on, man. Do a little bit of work here.
It's because the engineers just don't remember where we came from on these screens, where they would slide out of the dashboard and flip up.
Ah, the good old days when Fast and the Furious wasn't about family or driving cars in space.
It was still about family, and the races made actual sense. Minus how many times they shifted. That was always ridiculous. I think I counted like 32 times.
4.5
And one
minute,
and yeah.
4.5 minute scene about a 10-second car doing a quarter mile. Those movies were lit as fuck when we were young, though.
I loved the first few of them. When they started getting ridiculous, I stopped caring. At that point, I'd still enjoyed them, but not as Fast and the Furious movies. More like action flicks.
Yeah, that's just what they became. It was a chance for The Rock and Vin Diesel to argue on screen.
And like when they were getting to a point of having like a full fucking tank drifting on the ice and like almost falling in, but somehow not falling in, I was like, homie, that shit ain't that. Their engines ain't that good.
Fuck no. I've driven a tank. They're fast for a tank. Like modern tanks are fast for a tank, but a 1991 Honda Civic 4-door is still gonna outrun that motherfucker.
So at that point, it was more like, now you're just doing it for the fucking excitement of it. You've lost the premise of these movies where it was all about the street racing and family, except the one dude who only showed up in one movie. Nobody ever knows what happened to him.
But you're gonna
Are
blow
you talking about the Tokyo Drift movie with the one dude that wasn't Paul Walker?
No, that was that one was like a prequel. There was one dude who got in a fight with Paul Walker in the first movie. I can't remember what the character's name was, and that's the only movie you see that dude in.
No, he came back.
Everybody else, when?
Fuck. You're gonna make me pull up the Google box again.
No, you want me to Google it so you don't go into conspiracy theories?
Yeah, I'm down. But no, I think it was probably like the 5th or the 6th one. He just like randomly returns. It's when they were in Brazil. He's just like, oh, I've been hiding in Brazil this entire time. By the way, I gained 40 pounds of pure muscle. I'm totally not doing testosterone. Yeah, like even his voice was different. I almost thought it was a different actor and they were just trying to play it up, but apparently it's the same dude.
Okay, then. Well, I stand corrected. He came back.
Yeah,
4 movies later.
they didn't explain why he was back. And they didn't invite him out again after that.
So he still ain't family. So it's all about every family but him. He just like the dude who you run into is like, hey.
Well, him and Paul Walker, because they brought every other fucking character back, but they haven't figured out the voodoo to bring his ass back.
I'm trying to think of the guy.
You can't bring his ass back. He died in the way that he should have.
Bro, actors ain't real. It's just AI. It's been AI this entire time. You ever seen 2 of them in the same room together? No. I'm pretty sure Sam Jackson's just a small white kid in a meat suit.
I don't know if I can support these theories. I refuse to believe that about Sam Jackson.
All right.
The actor's Matt Scholes. He played Vince. He was in the first one and then the 5th one, and then that's it.
Yep.
Or
I kind of want to know what he ultimately did to be kicked out of the family. I want a Vince story, and why he's in fucking Brazil.
He probably didn't do anything like weird D&D stuff with Vin Diesel, because he like runs that series.
Yeah, that's his series.
he was also in the 4th one, I think.
Between shitting out crappy witch movies and randomly portraying a future dead dude in Saving Private Ryan, Vin Diesel ain't doing much.
Didn't he? Wasn't he actually in a... Wait, you just described that one movie where he's like made of nanobots? Like he can't die and shit?
No.
However, did enjoy the Riddick movies. He did a good job in those.
The first 2 in the video game. The other, 3 that they made have all been garbage.
There were more?
Yeah. Yeah, Vin Diesel does not know how to put a story down. It's like, just fucking let it die.
He was in Triple X, Riddick. Wait, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy?
He was Groot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I was like, hold up, I don't remember him. Like, no, I know his voice.
Yeah.
And he was the original Triple X.
He was the good Triple X. But he
was a good Triple X.
That was right after, I think, Fast and the Furious.
Mm-hmm. That was way back in the day.
Yeah, and then there's Triple X Return of Xander Cage. Then there's Bloodshot's the movie I was thinking of, where he's like made of nanobots and can't die.
Yeah.
Shot.
Yeah, it's another comic book adaptation that they did poorly on.
Okay.
That was a comic book? Well, I have to read the good one, don't I?
There's not a good one. It was a bad comic book.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
So it was just bad. Oh, and he was I forget, he's Iron Giant.
Yeah, that's way before he was popular, though.
Yeah, but I can't believe Mr. Family was probably the most influential person in my life for an animated character.
Dude, people sleep on the Iron Giant.
It's such a great movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It'll make you cry. And if you think that's stupid, you're just going to cry even harder.
See, here's where we differ. I don't want anybody else to watch the Iron Giant, because then they'll know it's getting popular, they'll remake it, and it'll be hot garbage.
They're going to remake anything at this point, let's be honest.
I just want a new story. Like, I'm super excited about the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare, or whatever that movie's called.
I think it's exactly that. Adapted.
Oh.
You know what movies I haven't seen and I've been meaning to see? Those Secret Service movies.
What?
The whatever Secret Service, and like the British people and the not British people. And then like one of the ending scenes of the newest movie is like he's singing oh god, why can't I remember the song?
Alright, I'm back.
I can't remember the song.
It wasn't the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I think it's literally called Secret Service.
No.
What are you talking about?
We're trying to figure out British Secret Service movie. It's not the League of... It's not The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. What's the other one?
Kingsman.
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 Those were good
Yeah,
movies.
I gotta watch the Kingsman. Yeah, I gotta watch Kingsman, all because they sing Country Roads in the last one. And I'm like, okay, now I have to actually understand this.
The last one's the worst one.
Yeah, well, I gotta watch all of them anyway.
When did you become such a big fan of West Virginia?
I didn't. It's just you gotta understand. Growing up with a bunch of where I lived, like there was a bunch of people that just memed, and that's the only song that was ever sung in my high school for some reason.
Okay.
What?
That outside of like chorus
Country
where you
Road?
sing normal song. Yeah,
Of all the
because
things.
because people are idiots
That's a weird
and
fucking
don't know how to
choice.
put something. Don't know when to stop kicking a dead horse.
Also, the movie is called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Oh,
Oh, the new one?
whoopsies.
Yeah, I'm fucking
The
excited
new
about
Guy
this.
Ritchie film? I can't fucking wait to see this one.
It should be good. From what I hear, a lot of the actors kind of stopped Guy Ritchie from doing modern Guy Ritchie stuff. So it should be pretty good. And it's got Henry Cavill, Alan Rickman, two of my favorite buff superheroes. Because arguably Jack Reacher was a superhero. Yeah, I'm excited. And to see Thad like kill Nazis. Oh, done.
See that kill Nazis.
Is that one going to be in theaters? Or I got to go to a streaming service?
Theaters, I believe.
It's in theater. It's in theaters now.
Fuck, I might go see that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know it released.
Neither did I. I've been seeing the commercials for it, and I've been thinking about checking it out. But shit,
You
since
can
it's out,
buy it on YouTube for $24.99.
I can go to the theater in the afternoon and get a matinee for cheaper than that, and some candy, bro. I'll be fine.
Not
Why is it so
wrong.
expensive? What the?
Because you're paying for the service of direct to your TV. That's why it's
So the
expensive.
convenience.
So
Gotcha.
you're paying that convenience fee. But I'm still like, I'm grown up enough. I have no issues going to the fucking movie theater in the middle of the afternoon by myself. That shit's fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
Apparently, it's not doing too well in theaters. So,
It has a 7.3 on IMDb.
People have no fucking class.
I think it's just theaters are dead.
That is pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the amount of money I used to spend on movie theaters bought me my surround sound system. And I'm sorry,
It goes
like
back-
when you got a
Back
14-inch
when we were in
sub,
high school, man, that's all you had to do in the after school and shit was go hang out at the movie theater because your parents would drop you off by yourselves until you got a little bit older.
latchkey kids. Yeah, I miss the good old days.
Oh yeah, me too. Totally. I know what that means.
And we were lucky enough we had a movie theater within walking distance of a Steak and Shake, so you could see a movie, go Steak and Shake, and hang out with everybody else.
That's a church
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Not Steak and Shake, that movie theater
Oh,
specifically.
I was gonna say that's really that's.
Right, that's an interesting change.
So I guess after you praise Jesus, you go grab a smash burger and fries.
I would praise Steak and Shake.
Yeah. Man, the movie theater by me, like it's in walking distance, and then I don't know if y'all.
We trust.
Yeah. And then there's like a Park Avenue right next to it, and it used to be a KFC, but then it turned into a Taco Bell.
What's a Park Avenue?
So, how do I explain Park Avenue? It's like a
Taco
chain
Bell for
barbecue
takeout
place.
KFC.
It's a chain barbecue place. It is all right for what it is.
All right.
You could get pulled pork, bacon, and mac and cheese in a sandwich.
Yo, you need a fat shack, homie.
I'm good. I don't need the. I need to like start eating a little bit more like healthier and heart conscious, or else I'm gonna implode.
Or you gotta start learning how to cook.
I
do cook. I'm just lazy.
hit Fat Shack for lunch on Saturday, and boy, was
so
that a
jealous.
mistake. I worked like
Like
a
a good mistake or a bad mistake.
a bad mistake, man. I worked 16 hours on Saturday. Just because we like shut down a city block and needed to fix it and couldn't stop until we turned power back on.
All right.
But so I'm like, all right, fucking lunch is on the company. I'm gonna go to Fat Shack. Get myself a big old fat sandwich, eat that shit, get back to work.
You ate on lunch?
Yeah.
Well, you're dumb.
Yeah. Like an hour after I ate, the itis hit me hard. Just nodding off at my desk. I don't even think I ate dinner that night. I was just like done.
Dude, that was your mistake right there.
Yeah. And what sucks is I brought two other
There's not
coworkers
lunch.
with me.
No. You done ruined all of their days with your Fat Shack.
Yeah. It was bad, man.
Fuck that, man. Well, I'm still jealous because that's just delicious.
It's good.
That's
It's just not lunch food unless you're going home and vegging out on the couch afterwards.
absolutely. It's so heavy, but so delicious. It's like you don't go to La Napolera on lunch because you ain't doing any work for the fucking rest of the night.
No. Just, even if you go on dinner, make sure you ain't got shit else to do afterwards 'cause you're going to be drunk and full.
Went there for lunch once. I got back to the shop and I was just like, I just sat down. I don't want to do shit.
Yep.
Just give me all them diagnostics. I don't want to do the work.
Yeah, fuck it.
Where you-
Let's talk about
you see
TikTok
the-
in China.
You see, the U.S. government is forcing China to either sell it to an American company or completely stop usage of the U.S.
Because only American companies can spy on Americans.
I thought they already sold it to an American company. I thought Trump made that shit go through.
No, so now they're forcing them to do that. But like, I read an article about it, and in the article, they're like, yeah, but people get around it. Well, people can do this to get around it, or they can do this to get around it. They can have a VPN to get around. They just told you how to get around it in the article.
Yeah. Yeah, that leads to the new net neutrality argument that I'm seeing. Like,
What do you mean?
so one of the big things with the youngins was like Obama created net neutrality. Like he pushed for it. It was a good thing generally. Then Trump came in, put this new dude in charge of the FCC, and he was completely anti-net neutrality. Ban everything that wasn't, purposely designed by America for America with all our propaganda
I-
attached to it.
I think I remember that being a big topic of conversation for a bit.
Yeah, and then so Trump goes away. We get President Biden, and the problem just kind of went away. Like he got rid of the FCC guy, put in his own guy as he should, and the problem just kind of poofed into magic air because Trump wasn't president anymore, and everyone rejoiced. If you didn't hear the sarcasm, I'm telling you, it's sarcasm. Nobody is rejoicing in America. We're all terrified and holding on to our cars for dear life. But now with the TikTok thing, on top of the new piracy thing that the video game publishers and movie publishers are doing, like, they're just getting rid of net neutrality and no one fucking cares because Trump's not president. And I care because I miss the good old days of Stumble Upon and the internet not being 5 websites you went to frequently. Like, oh, I miss forums.
I miss Stumble Upon. I used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah, it was such a bad idea for them to be like, we're going to become a social media service. Nobody wanted that.
that
We
what-
just wanted to click Stumble, God damn it.
Is that what happened to it?
Yeah, they turned it into a social media service, and within a year, it had collapsed.
Damn, I loved Stumble Upon. You can find the weirdest shit on the internet with that fucking website.
Yeah, I miss the good old days. Fucking when 4chan was good. When you'd go on 4chan to see something funny, not just to, read about conspiracy theories and people being assholes. Like,
Or
Right.
porn, because 4chan also had porn, and Tumblr also.
well, 4chan was just...
Everything has porn nowadays. If it's not porn, it's hey, come watch my porn.
Yeah, the old internet just became popular internet. But like, Stumble Upon was a good shit. But so we're going back to the they're trying to ban any kind of peer-to-peer service that lets you download copyrighted products. So to do this, I'm hoping they don't know how to do this. But to do this, they would have to track everything you do on the internet, which I'm sure they already do. I'm not stupid. But
Right.
like we're talking, they would just have to track literally everything. So now if you go and download a movie, you'll get a little warning from your internet provider. I don't think they can do anything. I've never heard of anybody actually getting in trouble for this unless they slided Metallica in some way, shape, or form. But you'd get like a letter being like, hey, you downloaded this thing using a peer-to-peer service. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
So the fix is get a VPN. Then they can't track you. They can. It's just harder, and your ISP isn't going to go through that. If you think a VPN is safe, you're fucking lying to yourself. But in the great scheme of things, it made it harder for them to track it, and they quit caring. They did literally the bare minimum in the scope of the law, because that's what your ISP does. If they do this other thing and pass this other copyrighted thing, VPN's still going to work. I don't see where this is improving the situation any other than now it's going to make more people get a VPN and more people are just going to pirate shit. It's like back in the good old days when we had LimeWire and what was the one with the cat? Not NASDAQ.
Napster.
Napster. It's very much gonna go back to the good old days like that, where BitTorrent rules and everyone's just stealing everything because there's too many fucking streaming services. It's cheaper to have cable, but there's nothing fucking good on cable. It's just Roseanne reruns. And
gotta find a new age Pirate Bay out there. I know it came back, but it's not the same anymore.
Do not use Pirate Bay. that is just an FBI sting operation. I'm not even. This isn't a conspiracy theory. I've seen the documentation. But like
they arrested that dude, which I mean, he had the best fucking service out there.
Yeah,
he just did what he did well.
Yeah, they arrested him. He's probably out of jail already, and like
more than likely at this point.
It's one of those like sucks to be you, but also you created the Pirate Bay. Fucking protect yourself better.
But thanks for the fun.
Yeah. But like a VPN's going to get around this just like everything else is. And if they straight ban VPNs, then we're getting to the like people are going to lose interest in the internet and we're going to go back to taxation without representation kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we're going to throw computers or whatever. We're going to have Tea Party all over again.
No, man, we're Americans. The only reason we threw tea into the Bay was because we couldn't find the British. We'll start putting politicians head first in that motherfucker. Like, you take the internet away from modern day America, they're going to burn down this planet.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. People would lose their fucking minds if like mass internet went out. Like, I think I don't think that the China and America forcing them is going to end up passing. Or if it does, because it's going to take away so much money from helping drive the American economy, because there's billions of dollars running through TikTok just on American soil.
So not to be the bootlicker, there isn't billions of dollars running through TikTok on American soil. TikTok influencers make nothing. It's like 10 million views get you a penny. What people do though is they're good entrepreneurs. They start off on TikTok, get a following, and then they move up to stuff like YouTube or
they had people sponsor. I know one guy.
Yeah.
Not plugging it. Roll for Sandwich. He has a lot of people sponsor his content, and that's how he makes a lot of his money.
But TikTok's the easiest way for people nowadays to get a foothold on it. And gain followers. It's the quickest way. And gain followers to move up to a better service to make more money. So yes, it may not generate all that income of it in and of itself to people. It's a funnel to do so.
Yeah, no, I get that, but that doesn't further America's wishes. That doesn't further, it's not a company that the ad revenue from TikTok is not going to an American company that's paying American taxes. Therefore, the government does not give a fuck.
What if, and hear me out, what if this is all just a ploy for YouTube or Google to buy TikTok and just make it YouTube Shorts.
I don't know if any of them could afford TikTok.
Yeah, it would be weird. I foresee them like opening a shell company here and making their profits and their just general business more open so people can see it and making it like a publicly traded company.
Right.
I do not foresee another social media service picking it up, mostly because like every other social media service already kind of has its thing that's a clone of TikTok, such as
Yeah, they
Google Shorts or YouTube Shorts. You have
Facebook Reels.
yeah, Meta Reels. Fuck, what other social medias are there nowadays?
Twitter, but that doesn't really have anything.
X.
Threads isn't really a thing.
X isn't really social media at this point.
YouTube. Is Facebook still social media? Like, or is that kind of like?
Yeah, it's still social media. It's just branched. It's just the scientific experiment that social media became.
Yeah, I would argue that Facebook is probably one of the better social media outlets. Not because, and I'm going to get flamed for this, not because all these young people think that everybody on there is just a crazy boomer, but because, like, generally, you're only subscribing to things or following things or whatever weird fucking term they use of stuff you're interested in. You're not just getting fed, pussy in bio comments every 30 seconds. Like,
And while there still is targeted ads when you're scrolling through Facebook, it's nowhere near as much as like Instagram does. Every third fucking like post you see isn't somebody you know. It's like, oh, do you think you like this person? And their page, go to their page. So you don't get as much of it, but you still do get it.
yeah.
I haven't used Facebook since I was probably like freshman high school. So I don't know that's why I'm asking. Like, I don't know what it's about anymore.
It's kind of a little bit of everything that every other social media like pins down better. It's like a jack of all trades for social medias nowadays. So you can pretty much do any of the things.
Yeah. And it's fun to go to and just be like, okay, I am now, I'm going to see what some friends I had in high school are doing, or I'm going to, what is my aunt up to today?
Right. And it's still user friendly enough for older people as well.
Yeah, it's nothing special, but by far it is way less aggressive and in your face than any of the other ones that are out.
Absolutely.
What was I doing? But yeah, Facebook is good. It's okay. Instagram is terrible, but it's always been terrible, so nothing new there. I haven't played with Reels, and I don't think I am legally allowed to get on TikTok. So,
And Threads was a pipe dream. Threads is meta as like Twitter.
I wish Vine still existed.
Man, me too.
Everybody wishes Vine still existed.
But they did the good old Flappy Bird and got really popular, and we're like, okay, cool. Not anymore, and then just like dipped.
Well,
no, they're still They're still popular. Just TikTok is modern day Vines.
Well, no, Twitter bought them and shut them down. Vine's not a thing anymore.
No, I know the official Vines isn't, but
yeah.
the style of videos that they essentially made popular that's all TikTok is now.
No, I've seen TikTok videos. Vine videos were like thought out. TikTok videos are just kids dancing, and it's the same dance spread amongst 2 million kids.
I'm trying to think like what I think the evolution of Vine probably would have ended kind of like TikTok, the very short form kind of brain rot.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's fair. I'll give you that one.
You just have a lot more editing capabilities with TikTok than you ever did Vine.
Well, yeah, because fucking
Vine,
all your phone didn't exist back then.
Yeah, all Vine was play, pause, upload.
Right.
That's all you need.
Like the homie sandwich.
Like the homie sandwich.
Like the homie sandwich. Okay.
All right, guys. I think we should call it. We're a little bit past our time, and I know we're all burnt out from this last week. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for this, man.
you could find us at places.
Yep. Find us on YouTube at Depths of Jigoku. Find us on X, Twitter, whatever you like to call us. Find us on Instagram, all at the Depths of Jigoku. All one word.
Our release schedule is Friday 6 a.m. unless I'm feeling lazy or there's extra editing involved.
Yep. Sorry about last week. It was Saturday around 11 a.m.
That's all good. Nobody really watches this.
Not yet. Hold on. We gotta be positive. People will watch it soon.
Yeah, eventually people will get to it, but like no one wants to hear our rants right now, not in this weird political climate.
Right?
Not fair.
Let us know anything you want us to talk about or any recommendations. Email in the bio. And if you have any improvements, let us know the improvements. Other than that, peace out.
Have a good week, guys.
All 11 Houston, we recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay. Houston, I'm getting a little fluctuation in the AC voltage now. Roger. 50 meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.